And like, it's totally understandable. I feel like I'm rough with my delivery to the children in my life today, you know?
You think so?
And I think if I died today, I would realize that they would probably have a similar impression of me. Like, dang, he was like a lot rough a lot of the time.
I don't think they would,
you know,
but I appreciate that you said that because that shows that you're self-aware of what you could be.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. I think that there's a level of roughness, if you even want to call it roughness, that's appropriate. And that's important because we don't live in this sugar-coated world where all the girls get to be princesses and queens and all the boys get to be princes who take them to the ball. That's not real. There's some fuckheads out there that's not taking the girl to the ball. They're taking them somewhere else. And there's some girls out there that don't quite fit the glass slipper, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And that's important too, to realize like those are real things, you know what I mean? So I think that you have a really good balance, man. But maybe, because I want to understand a little bit more what you mean by that. Can you elaborate a little bit more? Like, what do you mean about the rough delivery? Like, what does that even mean?
Well,
are you meaning like hurting someone's feelings?
Yeah, and being like a little bit crude, like almost controlling, you know? Instead of friend to friend. Like me and you, I never have that experience with you because
I feel like I can be a little rough with you. So I'm glad that you said that.
No, you're like
straight up.
You're my friend.
Yeah.
It's rough, but it's always like equal playing field. The respect is there. But when I'm talking to children, I can be like a little bit overbearing sometimes, you know?
You think so?
Yeah.
I think you're just worried.
Like a little bit like harsh, like a little harsh, like a little bit like go do that. You know what I mean? Because I was raised like that, my father and everything being in the military, very disciplined and stuff. And very like definitely. But I feel like parenting is like that though. I've read some cool stuff about like conscious parents and like good parents, like really good parents and how to be a good parent. And it's like treating your children as if you guys are just human beings together. Not so much controlling
that's how I will
them.
be.
Yeah.
First of all, I think you do really well, by the way. But I'm interested in what you're saying because maybe there's something there I'm not understanding. First of all, congratulations by the fact that you even know this. You know how many parents in this world are like, they think they're the shit or they think they know things right?
Yeah.
The fact that you're going, maybe I could be better at this. Maybe I'm too rough at this. Maybe I'm this. That is amazing. You're talking years of therapy to get where you're at with none. That's amazing. So, but I really want to understand you. So I'm going to ask a few questions if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Are you referring to, because I agree with you. I agree. And I don't know how, it's easy for me to say all this because I'm not a parent. So people know that about me. I'm not a parent.
Yeah.
But I hope that I'm exactly what you said. I talk to children now as if, you've seen how I talk to Annalise or like, I talk to them as if they're human. I don't baby talk at all. Which maybe that's important. I don't know. Maybe some counselor can tell me that. But I like to go, hey, what's going on? What are you doing? That, you know what I mean? And I talk softly, but I talk and I explain and I let them understand. So I like to hope when I have kids that I'm the same way. So are you referring to the fact that I'm the adult, you're the kid, this is the way it is? Like some of that comes out?
Yeah. That comes out. But I think as I'm in the experience, I'm like learning kind of settle that down a little bit.
And what do you hope to accomplish by settling it down?
I think settling it down just allows for real connection and not so much just like controlling, demanding. Because I mean, like discipline and respect, how do you instill that into a young child that you're trying to raise? You're trying to raise good human beings, you know? And there's different ways. You could think that you have to drop it down on top of their heads, you know? But it's really not like that. It's really like, because emotions come into play a lot, emotional reactions and responses, you know? But it's almost about like taking that emotion, but also being able to like neutralize it and just always keeping cool and level and like, and you're kind of leading the way. You're showing the child, okay, whoa, I understand, you know, like, but you don't have to be reactionary. You kind of have to understand and then respond with.
But what if that's your baseline? What if you mostly do that? Don't you think it would be more important to have that be your baseline? 70% of the time, I'm the calm, cool, understanding person. But here's my issue with being that way all the time is what happens when you put that person in sports? Do you think some coach in high school is going to be calm with your child? And what do you think happens to the kid who's only had calm in his life when his high school coach decides to yell at him? It's going to be really tough on him and he's going to quit. And so there's this weird balance that you said, right? Yeah, what if that's your baseline? Maybe even 60, tone it down a little bit from 70 that I said. You mostly explain things. But I also think it's important to not shield your child, your person from the real world. You know what I mean? Because people aren't going to be nice. You know what I mean? Eventually your child's going to have to go to the DMV and people are out of their goddamn minds there. And you want them to come home halfway sane after that because it's a real part of life that we all have to do every 4 to 8 years if we want to get a license or to register a vehicle, right? Yeah,
or even more, like dangerous situations come up and you need to be able to be like, get back from the cliff edge.
Yes.
You need to be able to get real serious.
Yeah. You know? What happens when you're in a bank and it's getting robbed? You don't want your child to like only know how to deal with calmness because that robber's not going to be calm.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm saying. And that's why I started this conversation with telling you that I think you're a little bit harder on yourself than you should be. I think you're great at this, by the way. I take a lot of things that you do into my personality. As part of what I do, I take a little bit of all my friends. And because you become one of my better friends, one of my good friends, closest friends, we have a lot of memories now. I really respect who you are. I am going to tell you about something that you may not see in yourself, which is that I think you have a great balance. I rarely see you stern. If anything, this might sound crazy. I think you could be a little bit more stern. Because I think that you have this really, really cool relationship with who you are as a person and it comes out well. You're not reactive. If someone says something that's annoying or maybe even insulting to you, you don't react to that. But when there's a moment, an opportunity to let someone know this is exactly how I feel and this is what's going on right now, you can do that too. And you do it really well. And so I'm telling you that because I think there's a benefit in. Here's where you don't want to do it, right? Maybe this could pertain to you. You could tell me if I'm wrong or right. What you don't want to do is be that person and then never address it because then it becomes like, what's wrong with my dad? Like, why is he being this way? And then all of a sudden he's kind again. Like, is he crazy? Is he bipolar? With all the stigma around mental health, that's what they're going to, kids talk to kids, what they say, like, you know what I mean? They say terms like that where people don't know what they mean. What you don't want to do is not address it. But I think it's totally healthy to be a human being. And if someone, and then afterwards going maybe back up to your child and saying, hey, I didn't mean to get rude. That was rude of me. And I apologize. And that way your child can see that you do that. What I meant to explain was this. And what I did was wrong, but I want you to know why I did it. This is why I did it.
That's great advice.
Wouldn't that work better?
I forget that sometimes, but
really
addressing your reactions
is
very important for sure.
Because kids really kind of know.
It bridges the gap. It bridges the gap. Yeah. Because you're like angry, you react, and then you kind of go away and then you calm down. You're like, think about what you did. And then you want to kind of bridge that gap. You want to be like, okay, I was angry. Maybe I didn't respond the best. Okay,
and let's models for them that they can also be angry and it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Like you can, as long as you address it like a man, if it's a boy, child, or woman or whatever, I don't want to get into gender stuff, but like you can address it appropriately like an adult. And there's an opportunity. That's when you teach them what apologies and forgiveness is, right? That's important too.
Yeah, it's a full thing for sure. And it's like learning how to deal with it in a healthy way.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, I'm just kind of going off of my own experience. Like what I'm saying, it's because I feel a certain way about how I'm treating people, you know, like having to make that apology. I'm like, whoa, I don't want to be doing that too much. Like, I don't feel great about that.
Is it a sign that I've been messing up too much? If I'm apologizing a lot, that means I messed up a lot.
Self-evaluation, yeah. Like maybe I want to bring it back to 50%. 50%. Maybe I'll be more comfortable there.
Well, again, the fact that you're even aware of it is probably a good start. When people tell me what they're scared of, I kind of know right away that that's not who they're going to be. Because someone that can admit something, like if someone came out to me like, I'm scared of being this outrageous person that no one understands, I'm like, you're already on the road to not being that because you just told me that.
Yeah.
It's usually the people that don't even know that I'm like, oh, this guy thinks he's awesome. And he doesn't realize that he annoyed half the people in this room the moment he stepped in it. Those are the people I'm worried about. I'm not worried about you at all.
Because that
Hey there, subscribers, what do I gotta do to get subscriptions by you? Will you subscribe? It's down below. Hit the red button. No, no, no.